what are you? You're equating me addressing the nation here in a tweet? I mean, that's the silliest thing I've ever heard. Okay, this is silly. Okay, next. Okay, okay. Thank you. You've asked your question.
A short time ago, President Biden said that he received a very generous letter from President Trump. Of course, he said it was private. He said, I will not talk about it until I talk to him. Is President Biden planning to call now former President Trump? And is this White House working in any way to try to put the two in touch?
He doesn't lie. Guess who lies? The press lies. And don't take it from me.
You don't think this president has ever lied?
Take it from Jim Comey, who literally called out in New York.
You don't think this president has lied to the American people?
No,
you
I don't think the president has lied.
He has never lied to the American people.
No, I don't think the president has lied.
Kayleigh McEnany, your credibility will be shot with my audience if you don't back off that statement.
Lighter note, will he keep Donald Trump's Air Force One color scheme change?
This is such a good question. I have not had the opportunity to dig into that today.
Mistrusting the current administration came after Press Secretary Sarah Sanders posted this photo of a chocolate pecan pie that she said that she made. And people immediately responded that this was fake news because it looked like a stock photo.
This White House has brought lying to such a high art that people don't even believe this stupid thing.
Good grief. Hypocrisy and bias from the mainstream press and media cannot be overstated. You heard it right there. It was disgusting how President Trump's White House press secretaries were treated versus how Biden's Jen Psaki is being treated. Joining me now with his experience, former White House press secretary and host of Spicer and Company, right here on Newsmax TV, our very own Sean Spicer. Hey, Sean, great to see you as always. The media was completely unfair and abusive with you, and later Sarah Huckabee Sanders and Kayleigh McEnany. What was it like for you, and how do you feel about the softballs now that are being just put over the plate there for Jen Psaki?
Well, I actually personally have a lot of respect for Jen. She was very kind to me when my team and I were moving into the White House. She was very helpful to get us acclimated, and I can't speak enough to how her transition helped us get in on day one. That being said, it's not her fault that the press corps, I like to say she didn't have a briefing with the White House press corps. She had a briefing with her communications team that happens to be the White House press corps. Those questions were frankly an embarrassment to the press. It was funny, you know, you bring this up, Chris. If you look back, it was interesting. When I was there, we had the acostification of the briefing room, the inappropriate and rude behavior of these folks who wanted to become YouTube stars. Well, the behavior got better, but unfortunately the questions got worse. And so, you know, I applaud the behavior. There was no yelling, there's no screaming, there's no jumping over each other. But they were an embarrassment for a completely different reason. Those questions about, you know, what was it like on day one? What were the cleaning mechanisms that you guys undertook? And has the president looked at the design for Air Force One? Those are, man, some tough questions. Nothing about immigration, nothing about the jobs that are going to get killed in the Keystone Pipeline. You mean issues that actually matter to Americans, but, you know.
Well, you know, you just made up a term, the acostification. Of course, he's referring, ladies and gentlemen, in case you don't know, to Jim Acosta of CNN, who isn't a journalist. He's a liberal talk show host, masquerading as a journalist. And I want to give you another example, Sean, and just get you to weigh on this. This is back in the Obama administration. I don't even know where Jeff Zeleny is working these days, but this was a question from Jeff Zeleny. Folks, this is a true thing. He said, during these first 100 days, what has surprised you the most about this office, enchanted you the most about serving in this office, humbled you the most, and troubled you the most? That was what constituted a tough question from a sycophantic press to Barack Obama. And Donald Trump never received anything like that from the press.
Well, just in case you're wondering, I'll give you one guess which network he's at now.
CNN. I guess it's hard to keep track. I mean, it's kind of incestuous, I know, but anyway. But I mean, just comment on that.
And by the way, Chris, again, I just want to make sure I give due credit. Emerald Robinson, our very own White House correspondent, I stole the acostification term from her. I don't know where she got it, but I loved it. So I want to make sure I give her due credit for that.
You know, the broader discussion I think we have to have here is how far journalism and the stratification of journalism has fallen. The Chris Salcedo Show, and I don't even pretend to be a journalist, I am an opinion host, but we do more fair representation of what is actually happening in the news than does CNN or MSNBC. And doesn't that have to change if we're going to have any restoration in credibility in the press's role in the First Amendment?
Yeah, but before, I'm sorry, you used a word that I wasn't familiar with. What's what did you call it, a journalist? What is that?
No, I know.
You know, it's funny because I agree with you. On my show, I think we bring guests on of different backgrounds and let them talk and inform people. But I'm like you. I'm very open. I'm not a journalist. I don't want to be. I want to be a host. I enjoy having this discussion that we have every night at 6 o'clock. I love what you do, both on the radio and on the show. But we're honest about it. We're honest about where we're coming from on this. And I think that that's actually why viewers love tuning into us, because we're not pretending to be somebody that we're not. Whereas those folks in the briefing room are giddy now that they get to ask all these great questions. You know, Jen, is the president doing really, really well, or is he doing awesome? Be honest with us.
Okay. Sean Spicer, everybody. Spicer and Company on right after us here on the Chris Salcedo Show. Always a pleasure talking with you, sir. We'll talk again soon. By the way, I think I know what Sean was talking about there, because we're going to be exploring exactly that little addition to the Oval Office in great detail on Monday. And let me just give a little bit of a tease, too. Your liberty-loving Latino has